Alright guys, welcome to the second video in our HTML course. In this video I'm going to talk about text editors, what a text editor is, the best text editor to start with as a newbie, and how to set up a basic HTML page and open it in your browser so that you can see the page that you're building. Okay. So first of all, what is a text editor? A text editor is an application that it goes on your computer that you can download that you can allows you to write code for the web. So allows you to make HTML pages, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, any kind of language nowadays can go on most text editors, and most of them are free. So this up here, text editor software, this is just like a list of like the most popular text editors. So there's like Sublime Text, Brackets, Atom, Bluefish, which has been around forever. Even the Notepad, if you're on a Windows computer, and that program called Notepad that we've all used, where we just write random notes in, that's actually a text editor, and that you can write actual code in there. And like you could potentially build a whole website in Notepad if you really wanted to. Obviously, it's not recommended, but yeah, that's what Notepad is actually a text editor, which I didn't know that for years and years until I learned about coding. So when you open, this is just an image of a text editor. This example is like Sublime Text. You can kind of see like this is what text editors look like for the most part. See if we can make it bigger. So this is just an example. This is Sublime Text. And you see you have like your files over here, your folders, and then this is what your code will look like. But this is a good example. You've probably seen stuff like this on TV shows where like some nerd is coding something on a computer and they're in like a text editor or something. But yeah, those are text editors. You can download whatever one you want. The most popular one, and it's been this way for at least 5 or 6 years now, is called Visual Studio Code. And this is owned by Microsoft, and it's a text editor that comes with a lot of features built in, like code completion. So like you'll see what that means when we get coding, but basically you can start typing one little piece of code and then you can just hit the tab button or enter and it'll finish writing it for you. You don't have to write everything out from scratch, which can take a long time. So we're going to click on that Visual Studio Code pulled up here. We'll click on it, and then I'm on a Mac, so it's saying download for Mac. You can click on this arrow, and I think it'll detect what you're on if you're on a PC. But anyway, download. You can download whatever version is ready for is best for what you're using. If you're using Linux or Windows or Mac, and I recommend you just get started at least for this course if you're brand new with Visual Studio Code, because that's what I'll be using, and it'll just make it easier. And then after you take the course and you at least know HTML, if you want to mess around with some of these other text editors like Sublime Text, a lot of guys really like Sublime Text. I think this one costs money though; it's not free. And then there's Brackets. Like you can look up any of these, just type in text editors and see if you want to pick a different one that you like better. But most places are using Visual Studio Code, at least definitely for like internet tutorials and stuff. So I already have Visual Studio Code. Everybody calls it VS Code. So I have VS Code downloaded already. So I'll pull mine up. And this is what it looks like when you will first launch it. And what I'll do now is I'll show you guys how to set up a basic HTML page, and then I'll show you how to open it up. I'll show you 2 ways of how to open it up. So I'm going to just minimize that a little bit. I'm going to hit new folder. I'm on Mac. You can do it on PC. Just hit new folder, create a new folder. And you can just title it first web page. So usually if you're new to like computers, when you make a file, you just want to have all lowercase and have like dashes in between your words. So I'll say first web page. And then I'm going to click into Visual Studio Code. I'm going to hit, really you can just drag it over if you want, or if you wanted to, you can just do this. And it'll open it up automatically, or you can go File, Open, and then select it from your desktop or wherever and open it. But so we have I'm going to make this big now. And mine is zoomed in, just so you know, like mine might look bigger than yours. That's because I'm zoomed in several times, because when you do tutorials online, you want it zoomed in so you guys can see it easier on your screen. And you can fix that, I think, in view and appearance. Zoom in and out. If you want it more zoomed in like mine, you can do this here or use those shortcuts. But so we have first web page up here. I'm going to click on this little file symbol, says new file. And I'm going to make an HTML page. So I'm going to call it index. And then I'm going to put a dot or a period, HTML. So all HTML pages have the dot HTML on the end. And we call that index because when you launch this to the real internet, the server is going to always look for the page that says index, and that's going to be your home page that it's going to display first. So you always want to have an index HTML. So I'm going to hit enter, and now we have a HTML file created within our first web page folder. And then I'm going to make what's called an HTML boilerplate. So what that is it's a bunch of default code that you need to make your HTML document work in web browsers. So you can go about this two ways. If you need boilerplate code, you can either search for it online. So you can open up Chrome. Let's get a Chrome window open here. And you can type in HTML boilerplate code or boilerplate, and you can just grab one off of a website. So let's just go here, just click on this first blog post, and I'll copy paste it in. And then guys, if you want to close this section to make your screen bigger, you can go over here with the arrow and drag, or you can hit Command or Control B if you're on a PC. Command Control B. So Command for Mac, Control for PC, and the letter B will open that and close it. So that's our boilerplate code. As you can see here, there's there's a JavaScript file. We don't really need that because we're not learning JavaScript yet. But yeah, that's one way to do it. You can always do that, or the easy way to do it, at least when you're in Visual Studio Code, is to hit the Shift button and the number 1 on your keyboard, and that should give you the exclamation. So see that? And then see how it's got that suggestion, and then I'm going to hit the tab button right there. Bam. And that's going to give us a HTML boilerplate. That's how most people do it. When you're using Visual Studio Code, they just use the exclamation point and tab, and that gives you all the starter code you need to make a web page. So a couple other things I want to point out to you guys. This doc type up here, this symbol, doc type HTML, that says, hey, we're going to have an HTML document, and it's going to be the latest version of HTML, which is HTML5. So there have been in the previous video I mentioned there was other versions of HTML. It started with 1, 1.2, 2.0, 3.0, 4, and so on. And each HTML version has a different doc type here at the top. But that's the one for HTML5, and that's the one you're going to see a lot. Now, you could run in on older web pages or websites if you're ever a professional developer. You might run into other doc types at the top. So let's look at HTML4 doc type because it's different. It'll look different. So right here, for HTML4, this is what you would run into. Doc type HTML public W3C 4.01. That's what it would look like. And then for HTML3, it would look a little bit different too. But just know that the doc type says what version of HTML we're using, and ours is going to be this one, this doc type in caps HTML. That's HTML5. This tag says I want my HTML to start in between these two tags officially, all of my HTML. And then lang, that's like English. That means language, EN English. And yes, you can change this to different language abbreviations. If your web page is going to be in France, I think it's FR, so on. Character set UTF-8, that just means we're using normal character sets. There's different character sets out there, there's different languages that you can put your page in, but that's not really important. You're always going to be in UTF-8, so don't worry about it. And then there's other tags up here, like meta tags, and which is part of the char set. So meta tags, you can set settings for your page, and there's a bunch of different meta tags that you can learn, which I'll probably go over that in another video. But this meta tag here, what this is specific one is saying, and this is really important, is this is telling us, it's telling all the devices that open this page that the viewport, and by viewport it means the screen that the device is on, we want the page to fit the scale of whatever screen size we're on. So if you're on like a mobile phone, it's saying, hey, I want my web page like condensed, or do whatever you have to do to make it fit on this screen. And this meta tag has become super important nowadays, because everybody, like over half the people that are on the internet now are on a smartphone. So that this meta tag, if you always do the Visual Studio Code way, the shift exclamation tab, it'll always have it. But if you do it another way, always make sure you have this viewport meta tag. That's super important. All right, so what I'm going to do now is see the title for the document now. This is the title of your page that's going to show up at the top of the window. So it'll show up, let me show you. When you open up a web page, your title always shows up here, and this is the title area. So that's what you're changing with that. So I'm going to just type my title. I'm going to say first web page and save it. And then I'm going to put a tag in here called an H1, and I'm going to hit tab, and that's going to autocomplete my H1 tag. And we're going to go over this in a second, but I'm just going to say hello world in here, just so we have something on the page that I can show you guys. And you can copy this as I go. Just code with me. H1 hello world. Pause the video if you have to write that out. And then there's two ways that we can go about opening our web page to see the HTML that we're working on. The first way, and the manual way, is to go into that folder that you created, wherever it is. So click into it, and then see this index.html. Just double click that, and it should open your web page in your default browser. So mine is Chrome. Yours is probably going to be Chrome too. So it opened up in Chrome, and we have our hello world text that we made here. So I'm going to minimize this so it can be next to our web page. And yeah, pretty cool. So underneath that, I'm going to put another tag called a P tag for paragraph, and I'm going to hit tab over. Just follow along with me. And if you can't do the tab over thing, or if you're lost, just make a less than sign, P greater than sign, and then same here, less than / P greater than. Okay, and then in there say my name is, and then type your name. I'm going to put Nick. And then I'm going to save. I forgot to mention that when this dot is up here, make sure you save. So to save, it's Command S or Control S on PC. That'll save it. And then see, our web page didn't update, but when we refresh it, it should update with that text. So let's refresh it. Here we go. My name is Nick. So see how it's updating? So that's the manual way of opening your web page. So now I'm going to show you the easier way and the better way. I'm going to X out of my web page, and I'm going to show you how to download a program called Live Server that will allow you to click this button that I have down here called Go Live. You probably don't have it yet, but I'm going to show you how to download it, and then when we click Go Live, it's going to automatically open up our window in our browser, and it's going to allow us to view our changes to our web page every time we save in real time. So to do that, go down here to these little boxes called extensions and click on it. It'll say search extensions. Make sure you click in here and just type in the word live. And it's going to be the first one that pops up called Live Server. And you're going to have something that says install up here. I don't, because I already have it. Just hit install. And then for Live Server to work, it might have you restart your Visual Studio Code. If it does, just hit OK and restart it and reopen it. And then what you'll do is when you're get your page back up to here, open it up, and then come down here when you're ready and hit this Go Live button, and bam, there's our web page. Okay, so now that we opened it that way, we can do what I said earlier. So let's make another P tag, or we can just copy this and paste it down below it, and I'll hit save, and then there it is. My name is Nick. See, I just updated it live. and then we can go underneath it and make another p tag and just say this is a live update. And then I'm going to hit Command S or Control S on PC, save, get rid of that dot, and see that updated live. Okay? So that's the best way to open up when you're working with Visual Studio Code. That's the best way to do it. Every code editor, no matter what you go with in the future, will have an extension like that. Or of course, you can always just open it manually and hit the refresh button every time if you want to do it that way. But yeah, so basically, guys, that's how you make an HTML page. We learned about text editors, how to make an HTML page, what some of this stuff means, and how to open up your HTML page. So in the next video, we'll go over more of what this head area means for your document, and we can go over some more meta tags and what different meta tags are used and how they're important. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.